kìnìún lọ bẹranko ẹ̀yọ̀ lọ́ba egungun òṣè ti gbọ́ ẹ̀yọ̀ lọ́ba egungun òṣè ti gbọ́ Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV.
Gbóhùn sókè afẹ́gbọ́ ẹ̀.
Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ o ẹja lọ. Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ o ẹja jọ lọ.
Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ o ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ẹja lọ. Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ o ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ẹja lọ.
Olúṣẹ́gun ló pè wá pé ká máa bọ̀ Ọládìméjì oníkẹwà kọ́gbọ́n lórí Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV ẹja jọ débẹ̀ o olólùfẹ́ o ó yá ká lọ.
Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ o ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ẹja lọ.
Ká lọ kọ́gbọ́n níbẹ̀.
Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ o ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ẹja lọ. Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ o ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ẹja lọ. Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ o ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ẹja lọ.
Ká lọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Kájọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Ká lọ gbàsà lárugẹ.
Kájọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Kí la fẹ́ gbọ́ lórí ètò yìí? Wọ́n fúnni nímọ̀ràn, wọ́n ń gbani lóye, wọ́n kọ́ ni bá a ṣe lè ṣe pẹ̀lẹ́ nínú ayé ẹ̀sìn àtàṣà gbígbéga àwọn màá lónìí o. Èyí olólùfẹ́ o, ó yá kájọ lọ.
Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ o ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ẹja lọ. Ó yá kájọ débẹ̀ o ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ẹja lọ.
Lábẹ́ aláṣẹ Emmanuel Tiwa Olúṣẹ́gun Ọládìméjì ló ní pariwo ó ní kẹ́ máa bọ̀ wá s'Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV show kájọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Kájọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Kájọ lára wa lọ́yẹ̀.
Kájọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi kí ló ń wò tó tiẹ̀ gbọ́ yá kájọ débẹ̀ o.
Kájọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Àkàlàmọ̀gbò ti dé o àwòkọ́ lọ́gà èdè o yá kájọ débẹ̀.
Kájọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Lóríṣiríṣi lórí Facebook lórí Instagram lórí TikTok lórí Twitter ẹ jẹ́ kájọ dé ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ débẹ̀ o ká lọ gbádùn ara wa. Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV yóò kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ o.
Kájọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Ọmọ Yorùbá tàtà ni ọmọ Yorùbá tàtà ni mí.
Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV ó bá yí láwùjọ.
Olódùmarè á fún ẹ ṣe láṣẹ lẹ́dùmarè ọba ọyẹ.
Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV ó bá yí láwùjọ.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ débẹ̀ o ká lọ fèyí kọ́gbọ́n.
Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV ó bá yí láwùjọ.
Ọmọ àjọ wa àkókò ló ní pariwo ó gbà yí ó gbẹ̀yẹ.
Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV ó bá yí láwùjọ.
Emmanuel Ọládìméjì bàbá ló ní kí n máa wí bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV ó bá yí láwùjọ.
Bí Báláwa ti bá ń pọ̀rọ̀ má máa sọ pé ó gbọ́.
Àkàlàmọ̀gbò TV ó bá yí láwùjọ.
Ìyá ẹ káàsán ẹ kú dédé àgbo yìí ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa níbi gbogbo tí ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ mi. Mo kí wa lógúnlógún lọ́gbọ̀n ní orílẹ̀-èdè àgbáyé. A kú dédé àsìkò yìí o. A dẹ̀ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta lórí ìkànnì yìí lórí live. Àti wá sórí live ó ti pẹ́ díẹ̀ ń sìn kó lè dá náà ní a bá kiri. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ká tó wọnú àgbàmì ètò lọ ẹ jọ̀ọ́ gbogbo ibikíbi tẹ́ bá ti ń wò mí àyín tó wò mí náà àbẹ́yìn tó máa wò mí later ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi subscribe sórí orí ìkànnì yìí ó ṣe pàtàkì ẹ bá wa subscribe síbẹ̀. Péjì tá à ń lò gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti ṣe sọ àti pàrọwà àti bẹ̀yín mo ti jáde wá ní láìmọye ìgbà láti wá sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ẹ̀. Wọ́n ti gbé péjì yẹn lọ ni so wọ́n hack péjì yẹn. So a ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń build eléyìí ńsìn a dẹ̀ ní ìrànlọ́wọ́ yín láti fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú wa láti pé kí ìkànnì kó padà sí bó ṣe wà tẹ́lẹ̀. Mo dẹ̀ nígbàgbọ́ pé ó ti ṣe ń ṣe ní àṣẹ Elédùà. Ohun tí a mú wá pọ̀ a ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ pẹ́ jù ṣùgbọ́n kí a tó máa lọ ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ orin orílẹ̀-èdè ṣe. Yá ẹ káàbọ̀ padà. Ẹ ṣeun ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sínú agbami ètò. Ká máa play àwọn fídíò ní ẹyọ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Àwọn ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe lọ pa Bọ́lá Ìgè nínú ilé ẹ̀. Wọ́n pa Bọ́lá Ìgè títí dèní. Wọn ò mọ àwọn tó pa á o. Ṣẹ rántí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe pa Délé Gíwá? Bọ́n ṣe ń pa àwọn èèyàn wa, àwọn akọni wa lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ẹni tó wà wọ́n léèyàn kì í wà nínú ilé ẹ̀ kó fọrùn rọ́. Oríṣiríṣi àwọn nǹkan bí eléyìí ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Ẹ wo nǹkan tán fẹ́ ṣe sí olóyè Ìgbòho nínú ilé ẹ̀ ní Sókà nìbàdàn. Ìbánisọ̀rí tó kó ọmọkùnrin yẹ̀yọ tó jẹ́ akọni ọmọ. Bí wọ́n á ṣe mú òun náà bí wọ́n á ṣe pa á náà lọ nìyẹn nígbà náà lọ́hùn. Ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ò gbà fún wọn. Fún ìdí èyí, ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa mú lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan kó tó dé àpò.
That day was a day. It was a Sunday. I'll never forget. My birthday is on the 22nd of December. And every year, I write to my parents to thank them. I give them a gift every year. So that 22nd, I'd written a letter to my parents and a card to appreciate them. And then I sent food to them. So the 23rd morning, my dad had gone to Holy Communion. My parents prefer going to Holy Communion. My father grew up as a Catholic, so he likes Mass. He likes anything that is Holy Communion. He doesn't like Matins as much as he loves the Eucharist. So, and he likes to go to church very early. So he had gone to church very early that Sunday morning. He had gone to Holy Communion service at St. Anne's. And then he called me. His older brother had been ill. He was ill in hospital in Lagos. He has his own family. This my dad's brother, my uncle.
You're talking about George Ige.
George Ige.
Bola Ige was the middle boy.
My father was the middle. George Ige was the oldest boy. Dele Ige was the youngest boy. They have two sisters. One who, the first child, and the one before my dad. There's one between George and my dad. And she's a lady, but the three men were the more prominent ones. So my dad was the middle of the three boys, the three men. And so he called me and he prayed for me like 40 minutes. Funsho, thank you so much. You know, you made me so happy. You make me so proud. I pray your children too will make you happy and make you proud, blah, blah, blah. That I have decided to go to Lagos to go and pick my brother and bring him to hospital in Ibadan. I'm like, Daddy, this man is 70-something. He has grown-up children. His first child is a professor. Why would you go and pick him from Lagos and bring him to Ibadan? I said, you know, most of his children are out of the country. His only son, my cousin Akinge, who actually lives near here, is in Ibadan. So he just thought he and Uncle Dele and Ibadan. And, you know, so they'll bring him, UCH is on strike, so they'll bring him to Oluyoro Catholic Hospital. So he said he was going to Lagos. So I said, okay. The next day, Christmas Eve, they were supposed to go to SRK. And that 23rd was my church, All Saints Jericho's carol service. And my dad really loves my church, especially the choir and the carol service. So he said, oh, I'm going to come to the carol service. As soon as I get back from Lagos, I'll come to the carol service. So I'd gone to see my mom on that 23rd. My dad hadn't come back from Lagos. When we were going to carol service, I stopped by because my parents also live in Bodija. I also live in Bodija. By the time I was going to the carol service, my dad hadn't come. And so my mom was like, okay, I'll wait for him so that both of us will come together. Throughout the carol service, I was looking out. You know, if I see somebody come in, I'll think maybe it was my dad. So throughout the service, my dad didn't come. So I thought, it's unlike my dad. You know, my dad is the kind of person, if he gives a promise, especially to his children, he will try and fulfill that promise. So when I got back I went to my dad's house. And I got to my dad's house with my two kids. My husband didn't go.
That was on the 23rd of December, 2001.
December 2001, about 8 p.m. just after 8 p.m. So when we got to the house in Bola Ige, my dad's driver and the policeman and the security detail, they were outside. And the driver was even playing with my daughter. My daughter was like, no, don't play with me because I've trained my children, you know. Nobody will just be touching my daughter's cheek and say, fine girl, you are my wife or you are my girlfriend. No, don't even play with me. So my daughter was not, you know. So I just went straight up. The whole house, there was an eerie silence. Very odd. So my children were like, Grandma. So my son went to the study and thought my mom was there because in the study there's a bathroom and my mom wasn't there. Grandma, on my dad's side, there are two wings of the house. My mom has one side, my dad has one side. Grandma. Then I heard my mom's voice faintly say, yes. So on my mom's door, the key was outside. So my son was the one who actually opened the door and found that it was locked. So he just undid the key. As he undid the key, Muiwa just leapt out and said, Daddy, I heard a shot. I'm like, what? Because I didn't even go to my dad's side. I was going to my mom's side first and then going to my dad's. Muiwa just ran out.
So they were locked in by the assassins.
The assassins locked my mom, Muiwa's wife, my uncle's wife, who my dad had gone to drop in Catholic Hospital Oluyoro, locked them in my mom's room and went to go and kill my dad. So Muiwa said he heard a shot. He heard shots. I'm like, shots? So anyway, Muiwa ran. And anybody that knows Muiwa knows that Muiwa is fitter than me. He flew. And then I just saw my dad's body on the floor. He was wearing white brocade, buban shokoto. Muiwa too was wearing white buban shokoto. Muiwa, and there was, a gunshot wound to his heart. Muiwa was now doing CPR. So he stuffed the place and he was doing CPR, put his mouth and was do the CPR, blah, blah, stop one, breathe into his mouth.
Ẹ má bínú jàre, mo kárí dé wèrè. Ọmọ Bola Ige ilẹ̀ rí tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, òun ló ń tú bọ́n ṣe pa bàbá ẹ̀. Ẹni tó ti prepare láti lọ fún Carol night ní church. Ó jẹ́ ìròyìn tó bani lọ́kàn jẹ́ nígbà náà lọ́hùn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe máa gbọ́ lọ. Ẹ ṣeun gan.
I think the house boy, the steward now came and I started crying. He said, Sister Fucho, don't cry. The steward now said, oh yeah, carry him. Helped carry my dad. He just took the car from the key from the driver, or maybe he had his own car, I don't even know. He just took one car. So I followed him. By the time I got to that housing corporation roundabout, my father lives just off a day. My brother was going at a speed that there was no way that I could match. So he had taken the body. So he had gone. So I now went home because my husband was like, this is the third time you are going to your father's house because I'm very close to my parents. So he decided that he's going to watch TV. So he was watching TV. And then I just came in and I said, Bero, my dad has been shot. I think my dad has been killed. He said, are you crazy? I said, did I lie like that yesterday? I said, somebody just shot my dad. He says, okay, so what are you doing here? I said, I came home to take my ATM card and whatever I have so that if they need money in the hospital. So he said, okay, where is he? I said, we was taking him to Oluyoro. So now, my husband is Miro. He now got into the car. And then as we were going towards Oluyoro, we got to this, from my house, we're about to turn into Awolowo. Then he said, where are the kids? I'm like, which kids? He said, our kids. I totally forgot I took kids to my parents' house. So he said, you know what? Where's mom? I said, mom is in the house with the kids. So he said, okay, I'll go and drop you in the house with the kids. By the time I got to the house with the kids, my mom was on the floor. My children were on the floor outside. And my mom was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe they shot my husband. I can't believe they killed my husband. My children were too, but I can't believe they killed my grandpa. I just got there. So my husband just dropped me. He didn't stop. I said, just go and meet me. We're in the hospital. I just got down. I said, Mom, here, get up now. Get up, get up, get up. He said, what? Don't let me get up. I will enter this ground. I said, you will not enter this ground. Mommy said, hey, Bola is alive. I said, he's alive. Oh, yeah, Mommy, get up. Be sitting on the floor inside the sand. He's okay. He's okay. I said, yes. I said, he's okay. You saw him? I said, yes. Me that I didn't even reach the hospital. I said, I saw him. I said, oh, yeah, Kayode, I also did get up. Oh, yeah, hold grandma. So I held my sister-in-law, Muiwa's wife. She had curled into the generator room. We didn't even know that was where she was, or the security. She had curled like this, like a fetus. She was just shaking. So I went, I said, oh, yeah, get up. Get up, get up. I said, Auntie, did they kill Daddy? I said, no, get up. So I persuaded them. We all went inside. And then a few minutes later, maybe like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, Muiwa came. His whole body too, it was drenched. My uncle was in one room. He had prostate cancer and he actually died the day after my father's funeral in Oluyoro. My dad's dead, but the nurses that were there, my dad had come, giving them money. This is for Christmas. I'm going to Esauki. Tomorrow, when I'm coming on Boxing Day, I'm going to be here. So they all still had the Christmas money my dad had given them when they brought my dad's corpse inside. So they were so shocked. He had been there earlier. He had been there like 2 hours before.
When he brought his elder brother.
When he brought his elder brother for admission. And then my husband had gone to tell his younger brother that my dad had been shot. So my husband went to pick my Uncle Dele. So as Uncle Dele got there, he fainted. So there were 3 Ige brothers, the dead one, the dying one, and the fainted one. And one of the nurses, my uncle didn't know what was happening. And they said, I think they brought the VIP because there's so much commotion going on. So when he realized that this is the older brother.
Interrupt ni mo fẹ́ kẹ́ máa gbádùn ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn kẹ́ máa dé. Gbogbo narration bọ́n ṣe Padele Ige, Bola Ige, òun náà lẹ ń gbọ́ yẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa bá a lọ.
Of the person that died said, he just said, I think it is Bola. So she just said that. So another nurse now came in. I said, oh yeah, nurse, come out, So that was how they avoided telling my uncle. But after, I think he was in the news and then he just stopped. My uncle stopped eating from the day after, and he died the day after the funeral. Once his children came and said, we've gone to Esa, we've done this, he just died the next day.
When you got to the house that day and you met the compound code,
yes,
where were his security orderlies? Because at that time he was the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice. Where were the security men that were detailed to take care of him?
Well, I saw 2 of them there. They were there. By the time I came back, they were there.
By the time you came back, they were there?
Yeah, by the time I got there, they were there. But from the countenance of the policeman, I knew, because Muiwa wanted to, because they now came to Oluyoro. And my brother was like, where were you when my dad was shot? Where were you? Where were you? And he was, so to avoid a commotion, I think they took my dad's body into the theater and told Muiwa that they were going to do a surgery so that Muiwa could at least leave the place, because apparently he was so irate. And Muiwa saw a ladder. They were painting for Christmas. Muiwa climbed the ladder so that he could look into the theater to see if indeed they were doing anything to my dad. So I think Muiwa actually went through a lot more, because funny enough, both my mom and my dad. He was the one that carried them to the hospital. And, so it's actually had more damaging effects on him. The security detail was actually promoted. He worked in the presidency after my dad was.
We are talking about the Attorney General of the Federation.
Yeah.
At the time.
At the time, yeah. Yeah.
Muyiwa was then when the assassins came.
Yeah, Muyiwa was there when
How many of them came in?
I don't know, but Muyiwa said he recognized, because during the court proceedings, he actually recognized one of them who was not locked up, and he identified the person. But like now, the states themselves, they proclaimed a nulli prosequi, that there was nothing to prosecute, so they left them. Everybody's free. Nobody's been jailed or anything for Bola Ige's murder.
Your mom wanted to see justice.
My mom wanted to see justice because she's a judge and I'm a lawyer. And so it's a criminal matter. So it's the state versus the defendants. We, as his children, could only give the supports that we saw the government needed, and that was to give our testimony. So my brother was giving his testimony, and my mom would follow us to court. And then the main prosecution witness, who was the security guard in my father's house, he was put in the next door cell or something to the people who did it. And obviously they must have told him they were going to kill his parents or something. So when he went to court, he denied everything that he said. My mom died the next morning.
Your mom could not take it?
My mom just said, I can't believe it, that this justice system that she and her husband worked for, my dad as a lawyer, she as a judge, that when Sugaba's case was on in Maiduguri, my dad, they wanted to excommunicate him, say that he's not a Nigerian, that he's a foreigner. But, my dad did pro bono and went to Maiduguri to go and defend Shugaba when they wanted to send him out of Nigeria, excommunicate him from Nigeria. It was my dad. And so my mom was like, Bola that will fight for any other person's rights. So they will now kill him like this. And then, she told Muyiwa that she wasn't feeling well. That day, the day before, 9th of April, I was in my school. Muyiwa went to Lagos for a meeting. And then my sister-in-law, Muyiwa's wife, called me that my mom wasn't feeling very well. So I left my office. I went to her. And when I got there, my dad's doctor was Wale Okejiro, so he came. We called him. He came to take blood samples from my mom. And he said that, there was element of malaria. So he started her on anti-malaria tablets. And so I stayed with her. She took her anti-malaria. She had lunch. I stayed with her. She had her dinner. Muyiwa came back from Lagos. He had even gotten to Lagos, to the place where he went for his meeting. And when he went upstairs, but he was supposed to go upstairs for his meeting, his wife called him that my mom wasn't feeling well and that he had called me, she had called me, and that I was with my mom. What would my brother do? He now called the people upstairs that, okay, I'm sorry, I'm downstairs, but I'm not even going to come upstairs because I've just been told my mom has malaria and I'm going back to Ibadan. And those people say, are you out of your mind? You are here for a job worth millions of naira. Are you a doctor that you are going back to Ibadan. He said, no, because there's no way I can even have a meeting. My mind is... So my brother came back to Ibadan without his meeting. And my mom was just like, she just said, okay, it's just the two of us. So she said, that even though she's lost my brother, that these two children, she started praying for us, that if she says she wants one thing in the morning, by the evening she has 6, for sure we bring 4, we bring 2, that, she's really blessed, she's really this, God will bless us. So I said, amen. We all started praying, because Muiwa had moved in to my dad's house from the day my dad was killed. He and his family now lived with my mom. So, and we always tease my mom that Muiwa is her favorite, because he's the last child. And my mom never used to say no, that Muiwa is not her favorite. Everybody knew that Muiwa is her favorite. So, and when people would say that I'm my dad's favorite, my mom would not say anything too. So we had my middle brother, Sunday is the brother, was me, I'm everybody's favorite. He doesn't want to be anybody's favorite. Both his parents are his favorites. So we used to kid that Muiwa is mommy's handbag, because everywhere my mom went, Muiwa followed. So Muiwa was very close to my mom. So after my dad died, we had a meeting, Mom, you're going to live long so you can enjoy all the things that all the hardships my dad has put you through, the detentions, everything. This is your time to enjoy with your grandchildren. We had gotten married. We didn't know my mom was going to die 16 months later. So overnight, my mom just ruptured a vein behind her eye. And she too just died. She too died on a Thursday morning, April the 10th, 2003.
Yeah.
So that was the...
Fídíò yóò ṣe máa wò ó. Ẹ má ẹ̀ka dánìkan jẹ́ o. Ẹ bá wa ṣí ẹ̀. Ẹ ṣeun.
I said, okay, what are we going to now do now? They are both dead now. So he was like, no, he's not accepting it. He can't even accept my dad's own. He's not accepting my mom's own. So it was very, very traumatic, because, now with hindsight, I'm the only one that turned 40 with my parents alive. By the time my dad died the day after I turned 41. My brother died 6 weeks to his 31st birthday. Muiwa was only 33 when my parents died. So it's been tough on him more than me.
So when the principal witness recounted, Mom knew it was over.
My mom knew it was over.
And the principal witness was the gate man of the house.
It was our own private security. It was not the one by the government.
And so he's the one that Bola Ige employed.
Yes.
So he's known to the house.
Yes.
He's like a member of the family.
Yes.
And he
even though he came from a security company.
Okay.
But it was the family that pays him. And the security company later said that it was because the people the defendants were putting pressure on him, and they said they were going to kill his family. And if he stuck with his story. So the poor guy recanted.
What was his initial story?
His initial story is that he saw these people come in, and then he now got to...
I was able to identify them?
Yeah. At least he was able to say that my dad's security details were not there, and that some people had come in, and then when my driver... And then had said that I had come back. There was no eating place around there. My dad, between the time my dad was killed and I came in, was 17 minutes. So my dad's security people didn't go far, if indeed they went anywhere. So, and there's no way that if anybody from their countenance, but funny enough, the security detail that was promoted after my dad's, he's now dead. When I saw that he died, I said to my brother, I said, so this man can die? He thought that they would never die. you know. So it was very sad because all the people, my dad was the kind of person, you know, people that worked for him who would send their kids to university, who send their kids to school. You know, this particular security detail, when he bought his car, my friend bought 5 brand new tires for him. So there are people that we knew. And I know that, you know, in my short life, before there's external aggression, there must be internal collusion. So they were the weak links.
Do you think it's political murder?
Oh, yeah. Kola Abiola, when it happened, he said, Sis Muiwa, it's got all the fingerprints of the state on it.
The fingerprints of the state.
He said it's state murder.
In this book, you mentioned that at some point your dad had submitted his letter of resignation.
Yes.
To Obasanjo.
Yes.
Obasanjo refused to accept the letter of resignation.
Well, he accepted it, but he's told my dad that he wasn't going to let him go. But my dad said he wanted to go and rally up. The progressives, and then he had gotten this appointment in the International Court of Justice in The Hague. So he was going to do that in the new year. My mom had been to Abuja. My mom had been given the OFR on the 18th of December. So it was on the 19th of December that my dad handed in his resignation.
As the Minister of Power?
As the Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Okay.
You know, he was power before Attorney General. He was in power...
Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
I think from maybe like June 1999 to 2000. Then from 2000 till he died in 2001, he was Minister of Justice and Attorney General. So he had given notice that he was leaving in March 2002.
2002.
So they killed him on December 23rd.
Why would they want to kill him? Why did they kill him?
He was, you know, people kill what they're afraid of. People kill what they're afraid of. There were people who were afraid of him.
In fact, ẹ̀yin wa fọ́nrán tí ẹ wò tán nísìnyí, a lè pè ní kò ṣe má wò, kò ṣe má gbọ́. Ẹ wá ṣe ètò yìí kí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá, àwọn especially àwọn olórí wa yìí kán lọ kọ́gbọ́n. Ó ti pẹ́ tán ti ń pa àwọn èèyàn wa o, ó ti pẹ́ o, tán ti mú àwọn akọni wa, àwọn èèyàn ńláńlá. Gbogbo wa náà ló mọ Bola Ige pé akọni ni nínú àwọn adájọ́. Ògbóǹtarìgì tó ṣe ń fà tó ṣe ń wọn lè kóyán ẹ̀ kiri nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Narration ẹ̀ lẹ gbọ́ yẹn from A to Z. Ọmọ ẹ̀ gangan ló sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn. Ọmọ Bola Ige òun lẹ gbọ́ tó ṣàlàyé bọ́n ṣe pa daddy ẹ̀. Ẹni tó ń prepare láti lọ sí church láti lọ fún Carol night, Catholic, òun náà dẹ̀ pa lọ. Títí dèní bọ́n ṣe ń pa àwọn èèyàn wa nìyẹn. Mélòó la fẹ́ kà nínú wọn? Mélòó la fẹ́ kà? Ohun tá a mú wá fún wa kí ẹ gbọ́ nìyẹn. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi, mo kí wa ní gbogbo ibi tí a bá wà. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ bá mi subscribe sórí YouTube channel. Ẹ bá mi subscribe sí orí ẹ̀. Link ẹ̀ náà la pin síbẹ̀ yẹn. Link yẹn dà. Link yẹn lẹ́ ń wò yẹn. Ẹ bá mi tẹ̀ sí kẹ́ subscribe sórí ẹ̀. Mi ò ní wá yín tì níbikíbi tí ẹ bá wà. Èmi ọmọ yín náà ni o. Àkàlàmàgbò TV, ẹyẹ méjì ò kí ń jàṣà. Àní rí ju báyìí lọ. Ẹ ṣeun gan. sleep now.